Have you ever felt trapped by your own past? Do you often find yourself thinking about what you should have done differently? Or maybe you keep asking yourself, why didn't I make better decisions back then? We've all been there, haven't we? It's easy to get caught up in the mistakes or missed opportunities of yesterday. But what if you could leave that behind? Starting today, imagine carrying a heavy backpack full of regrets. Wouldn't you feel lighter if you could just put it down? In the same way, letting go of your past can free you. A simple example. Picture yourself walking down a road, but constantly looking over your shoulder at what's behind you. How far can you really go if your attention is stuck in the past? The answer is not far at all. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. This video will guide you through the transformative practice of letting go of the past and living fully in the present. You'll discover insights rooted in Buddhist wisdom that can help you break free from the chains of regret. We promise that by the end of this video, you'll feel more empowered to move forward in life without looking back. Now, before we dive in deeper, I want to remind you, there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers are subscribed. So, if you're finding value in what we share, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us bring more helpful content to you and others, and it's the best way to stay connected with all the new insights we post. Letting go of the past doesn't mean erasing your memories. It means releasing the emotional grip they have on you. In Buddhism, this practice is often referred to as non-attachment. It's about acknowledging the past, learning from it, and then letting it rest where it belongs, in the past. By holding on to the past, you are missing out on the beauty of the present moment. The present is the only place where life happens. Regret only serves to trap your mind in a cycle of suffering, which is why it's so important to learn how to break free from it. This video will introduce you to the concepts of mindfulness and awareness, which are key to moving on from your past. By focusing on the here and now, you can gradually train your mind to release old burdens and find peace. The power of mindfulness. Anchoring yourself in now. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel the breath as it enters your body, then leaves. Do you notice how your mind sometimes drifts away? Perhaps to the things that happened earlier today, or maybe even to events long past. The mind loves to wander. But I ask you, where is your true life happening? Is it in the past? Or is it in this very moment, right here, right now? Let me tell you a simple truth. Life is only happening in this present moment. Yet, so many of us spend our days lost in thoughts of what has already happened, or what might happen next. We worry about the future, or we replay the past over and over again. But when we do this, we miss the richness of what's in front of us. We miss the present. Mindfulness, my friend, is the key to freeing yourself from the distractions of the past and the worries of the future. It is the practice of being fully here, fully alive, in this exact moment. It's not something complicated. In fact, it is one of the simplest things you can do. You don't need anything special, just your awareness, your attention, your presence. Let me share a small example. Imagine you are drinking a cup of tea. It seems like a simple act, doesn't it? But often, while drinking tea, we are thinking of other things, our tasks, our responsibilities, maybe even our past mistakes. We do not actually taste the tea, but if you bring your full attention to the act of drinking, to the warmth of the cup in your hands, to the taste of the tea on your tongue, suddenly, something shifts. You are no longer lost in your thoughts. You are present with the tea, and in that moment, you are truly living. This is the power of mindfulness. It brings us back to the present, again and again. Every time your mind drifts away, mindfulness brings it gently back, like a shepherd guiding its sheep back to the path. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Over time, you will find that you spend less time in the past or future, and more time anchored in the now. In Buddhism, we often talk about suffering and its causes. One of the greatest causes of suffering is our inability to stay in the present. We dwell on past pains, replaying them like an old movie in our minds. Or we fear the future, worrying about things that may never come to pass. This is why mindfulness is so important. It is the antidote to these distractions. When you are mindful, you are not caught up in regret, nor are you consumed by anxiety. You are simply here, living fully in this moment. The breath is a wonderful tool for cultivating mindfulness. Every time you feel your mind drifting, return to your breath. Feel the air as it enters your nostrils, as it fills your lungs, as it leaves your body. This simple act of focusing on your breath can bring you back to the present moment. It is a reminder that you are alive right now, not in the past, not in the future, but here, in this very breath. You see, mindfulness is not just about sitting in meditation. It is something you can practice in every moment of your life. Whether you are walking, eating, or even washing the dishes, you can practice being fully present. Try it the next time you are doing something simple. Pay attention to every sensation, every movement, every sound. You will find that even the most ordinary tasks become extraordinary when you are fully present for them. But mindfulness is not just about being present with the pleasant moments in life. It also means being present with the difficult moments. When we are mindful, we learn to face our challenges directly, without running away. We don't push them aside or distract ourselves from them. Instead, we meet them with calm, clear awareness. This is where true strength lies, not in avoiding life's difficulties, but in facing them with a steady mind. Many people believe that if they just avoid thinking about the past or worrying about the future, they will find peace. But avoidance is not the answer. True peace comes from facing life as it is, right here, right now. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but the present moment is where you have the power to act, to change, to live. As you practice mindfulness, you will notice something beautiful happens. The more present you become, the lighter you feel. The burdens of the past begin to lift, and the weight of future worries starts to fade. You find yourself more at ease, more connected with the world around you. You begin to appreciate the little things, the sound of the wind, the warmth of the sun, the smile of a loved one. These moments, often overlooked, become treasures when you are fully present for them. In mindfulness, there is also great freedom. You are no longer chained to the mistakes of the past or the uncertainties of the future. You are free to experience life as it is, with all its beauty and complexity. And in that freedom, you find peace. It is said that the past is like a shadow, always behind you. But if you keep looking back, you'll never see the light ahead of you. Mindfulness helps you turn your gaze forward. It allows you to let go of the shadow of the past and walk confidently into the present. So, I invite you to practice mindfulness. Start small. Focus on your breath, your steps, your surroundings. Be present in whatever you are doing. And when your mind drifts, as it surely will, gently guide it back to the present, again and again. Remember, my friend, life is happening now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but in this very moment. And when you learn to live in the present, you will discover a richness, a peace that was always there, waiting for you to notice. Breaking free from regret, cultivating self-compassion. Let us sit for a moment and reflect on the nature of regret. What is regret but a feeling that weighs us down, pulling us backward, as if trying to chain us to moments we can no longer touch? Imagine your mind as a calm lake, but every time you allow regret to take hold, it's like tossing a stone into the still water. Ripples spread far and wide, disturbing the peace. My friend, you cannot remove the stone that has already sunk, but you can learn to stop tossing new ones. This is the path of freeing ourselves from regret. We often hold on to regret because we believe we should have done something differently. We replay those moments in our minds over and over again, thinking of all the other choices we could have made. But this thinking is a trap. No matter how many times we revisit the past, we cannot change what has already happened. Instead of letting regret poison the present moment, we must practice self-compassion. Self-compassion means being kind to yourself. Just as you would not scold a friend for a mistake made long ago, you must also show yourself the same gentleness. The journey toward self-compassion begins with understanding that everyone makes mistakes. It is part of being human. In Buddhism, we are reminded that life is a cycle of learning. Mistakes are not failures but lessons. Now, think of a tree. A tree does not regret losing its leaves in the fall. It lets them go, knowing that new growth will come in time. The tree is not caught up in the past, and neither should you be. Just as the tree is patient with itself, you too can learn to be patient and kind with your own growth. Why is it so hard for us to forgive ourselves? Often, It's because we are holding ourselves to an impossible standard. We expect perfection, and when we fall short, regret creeps in. But perfection is not the goal. The goal is to grow, to improve, to learn. In fact, the teachings of Buddhism remind us that everything is impermanent, even our mistakes. What you regret today will fade with time, if you allow it to. Consider this. If you continuously beat yourself up over the past, are you truly living in the present? Regret keeps you trapped, while self-compassion frees you. When you practice self-compassion, you allow yourself to make mistakes and move forward. You learn to forgive, not just others but yourself. This is the key to breaking free from regret. To cultivate self-compassion, start with a simple practice. When you feel regret, pause and take a deep breath. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Tell yourself, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. This simple sentence can release a great burden. You are not perfect, and that is okay. One of the great teachings of Buddhism is to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. When you look at the past with regret, you are seeing it through a lens of what could have been, instead of accepting what is. By accepting the past as it is, you can release the tight grip of regret. Accept it fully, with no resistance, and watch how the heavy feeling begins to dissolve. Imagine yourself carrying a heavy backpack filled with regret. With every step, it slows you down, making your journey more difficult than it needs to be. But you have the power to take off this backpack. You don't have to carry it anymore. It is a choice. And when you make that choice, you find that your steps become lighter, your journey easier. Self-compassion is like this. It is the act of taking off the heavy backpack of regret and allowing yourself to move forward without its weight. It is the realization that you are worthy of kindness, not only from others, but from yourself. And when you show yourself kindness, you create space for healing and growth. Think about a time when you forgave someone who hurt you. How did that feel? Most likely, it brought you peace. Now, imagine giving that same peace to yourself. Imagine letting go of the harsh words you say to yourself, replacing them with words of love and understanding. This is what it means to cultivate self-compassion. You stop being your own enemy and become your own ally. But self-compassion does not come easily to everyone. It requires practice, just like anything else. Start small. When you notice regret bubbling up, take a moment to sit with it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of focusing on what you did wrong, focus on how this experience can help you grow. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, and every moment of regret can be transformed into a moment of growth. Remember, the goal is not to erase the past, but to make peace with it. You cannot change what has happened, but you can change how you respond to it. You can choose to let go of regret and embrace the present with a compassionate heart. In this life, there are many opportunities to practice self-compassion. Every time you make a mistake, every time you feel regret, you are given another chance to be kind to yourself. And with each act of kindness, you grow stronger, more resilient, and more at peace. When you cultivate self-compassion, you are no longer held hostage by your past. You are free to move forward, free to create a life that is not defined by mistakes, but by the lessons you learn from them. This is the true freedom that comes from breaking free of regret. As we continue this journey, remember that letting go of regret is not an overnight process. It takes time, just like anything worth doing. But with each step, you move closer to peace. With each act of self-compassion, you grow. This is the way of the mindful life. A life where regret no longer controls you, but becomes a teacher that helps you grow. So, take a deep breath. Release the past, embrace the present, and walk forward with a heart full of compassion for yourself. This is how you break free from regret, not with harshness, but with kindness. You deserve that kindness. The illusion of permanence, accepting change and impermanence. Dear listener, let us take a moment to pause. Breathe in deeply. Feel the air filling your lungs, and then gently let it out. The breath comes and goes, doesn't it? Just as all things do. Life flows, ever changing, ever moving forward. And yet, we often cling to what we wish could stay the same. We hold tightly to the past, the people, the moments, the things that once brought us joy, but now only bring us pain because they have changed or are no longer with us. Why do we do this? In Buddhism, There is a teaching called anicca, which means impermanence. Nothing in life stays the same. Everything is in a constant state of flux. From the smallest blade of grass to the tallest mountain, everything is subject to change. Our relationships, our possessions, even our own bodies. Everything is impermanent. This is a natural law, and yet we resist it. We want things to last forever, but nothing can. Not even our worries or fears. Many times, we find ourselves trapped by the desire to hold on to things that have already passed. We want our youth to last forever, for our relationships to never change, for our success to remain as it is. But life doesn't work that way, does it? When we cling to these things, we set ourselves up for suffering. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Think about the seasons. Winter turns into spring, spring into summer, and so on. Imagine if winter clung to itself, refusing to give way to spring. What chaos that would cause. The same goes for us. We must learn to flow with the natural rhythms of life. We must embrace change rather than fight it. I know it's not easy. Our minds crave stability, something to hold on to. But let me ask you this. Is it not more freeing to let go of the need for things to stay the same? When you release that tight grip, you make space for something new to enter. Just as trees must shed their leaves to grow fresh ones, we too must release the past to make room for new growth. One of the biggest sources of pain is our attachment to how things used to be. You may think back to a time when you were happier, where life seemed simpler. But in truth, those moments are gone, and that's okay. They served their purpose in your life at that time. Now, it's time to move forward, not by forgetting them, but by acknowledging that they are no longer here in the same way. Clinging to the past doesn't bring it back. It only prolongs your suffering. Buddhism teaches us that change is not something to be feared, but something to be understood and accepted. When we stop expecting things to remain as they are, we open ourselves up to the beauty of life's ever-changing nature. There is freedom in that understanding. Take the example of a river. The water that flows through it today is not the same water that flowed through it yesterday. It moves, it shifts, and yet the river remains. So too does life. The circumstances around us change, but life continues to flow. The trick is to learn how to flow with it, to stop resisting the current. What happens when you resist the flow of a river? You get tired, don't you? You exhaust yourself trying to fight the current. But when you allow yourself to move with the river, there is a sense of ease, a sense of freedom. This is what happens when we accept impermanence. We stop struggling against what cannot be changed and instead learn to adapt and grow with the flow of life. Now, some may ask, but if everything is changing, doesn't that mean I'll lose what I love? In a way, yes. But understand this. Nothing is ever truly lost. What you loved, what you cherished, it lives on within you. The memories, the experiences, they become a part of who you are. They shape you, help you grow, and then they pass. But their essence remains in the lessons they have taught you. You cannot hold on to moments, but you can carry their wisdom with you. Every experience, every relationship, every success and failure has something to teach you. And when you accept that things are meant to change, you learn to appreciate the present moment more deeply. You no longer rush through life, trying to hold on to fleeting moments. Instead, you savor them, knowing that they are temporary, and that is what makes them precious. This understanding of impermanence can also help you let go of pain. Just as joy is temporary, so too is suffering. When you are in a difficult situation, remember that it will pass, just as all things do. No pain lasts forever, just as no pleasure does. Everything is part of the ebb and flow of life. When you embrace impermanence, you find comfort in knowing that nothing stays the same for long. The key is to practice non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean that you stop caring or stop loving. It simply means that you do not cling to things, people, or outcomes. You allow them to be as they are, and you allow yourself to be as you are. You love deeply, you experience fully, but you do not hold on. You let things come and go, just as the breath comes and goes. Think of it this way. Imagine holding a butterfly in your hand. If you squeeze it too tightly, you will harm it. But if you open your hand, the butterfly can rest there for a while, and when it's time, it will fly away. This is how we should approach life. Lightly, gently, with open hands. Let things come and go, without trying to possess or control them. So, dear listener, take a deep breath and let go of what you are holding onto from the past. Accept that things change, and that's okay. Life is a continuous flow, and the more you learn to move with it, the more peace you will find. Remember, the only constant in life is change. When you embrace that, you can move forward without fear, without regret, and without looking back. Change is not the enemy. It is a teacher. It shows us that everything in life is temporary, and that is what makes every moment valuable. So, let us walk this path together, not clinging to what was, but embracing what is and what will be. Life is waiting for you, here and now. Moving beyond mistakes, transforming failure into growth. Mistakes, my dear ones, are a natural part of life. Every person, at some point, stumbles along their path. It's easy to look at a mistake and feel defeated or weighed down by it. But have you ever stopped to consider that mistakes can be our greatest teachers? Often, the moments where we think we have failed are the very moments that push us toward growth. Imagine for a moment that you are walking on a path, and you trip on a stone. You fall, and your first instinct is to feel embarrassed, maybe frustrated with yourself. But what if, instead of judging yourself for falling, you took a moment to see the stone for what it is, a lesson? The next time you walk that path, you will know where the stone is, and you will step more carefully. In this way, your mistake has made you wiser. This is how growth happens. In life, mistakes are the stones on our path. They appear not to stop us, but to teach us how to walk more mindfully. Buddhism teaches us that the real problem is not in making mistakes, but in how we respond to them. If we allow a mistake to pull us into a cycle of regret or self-blame, we only trap ourselves in the past. But if we see each mistake as an opportunity to learn, we can move forward with wisdom and strength. Let's consider a simple example. Think of a gardener. In the beginning, the gardener plants seeds, but perhaps they don't grow as expected. The soil may be too dry, or maybe there wasn't enough sunlight. Does the gardener give up? No. The gardener observes the mistake, adjusts the conditions, and tries again. With patience and learning, the plants eventually bloom. In the same way, our mistakes are like the conditions of the garden. We may fail at first, but with careful observation and the willingness to grow, we can cultivate something beautiful in our lives. Mistakes are not permanent, and they don't define who you are. They are simply moments that come and go, just like everything else in life. In Buddhism, we often speak of impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing, flowing, and evolving. Your mistakes are no different. They are not carved in stone. They are part of the natural flow of life, meant to be learned from and then let go. When you make a mistake, it is important to treat yourself with kindness. Too often, we are our own harshest critics. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to another person. But in truth, you deserve the same compassion that you would offer to a friend. When a friend stumbles, you don't tell them to give up. You encourage them to keep going. So why not do the same for yourself? Buddhist teachings encourage us to practice metta, or loving kindness, toward ourselves, especially in moments of failure. To transform a mistake into growth, we must first be gentle with ourselves. Instead of saying, "I failed," try saying, "I am learning." This small shift in perspective can open the door to growth. Now, let's take a deeper look at how we can use our mistakes to grow. When we make a mistake, it's important to reflect on it, but not in a way that brings shame or guilt. Reflection in Buddhism is about understanding the cause and effect of our actions. What led to the mistake? Was it a lack of attention, a misunderstanding, or maybe an attachment to a certain outcome? By reflecting mindfully, we can uncover the root of the mistake and learn from it. Once we understand the cause, we can begin to make changes. This is the essence of growth, using our past experiences to shape a better future. Just as a tree grows stronger after a storm, so too can we grow stronger after our mistakes. But remember, growth takes time. It is not an overnight process. Be patient with yourself as you learn and evolve. Another important part of transforming mistakes into growth is to let go of the idea of perfection. In life, there is no such thing as perfection. We often set high expectations for ourselves, and when we fall short, we feel disappointed. But what if we embraced our imperfections? What if we accepted that mistakes are part of the journey and not something to be feared? In Zen, there is a concept called wabi-sabi, which means finding beauty in imperfection. A cracked teacup, for example, may not be flawless, but it is unique and beautiful in its own way. In the same way, your mistakes do not take away from your value as a person. They add to the richness of your experience. By accepting imperfection, we free ourselves from the pressure to always get things right, and we open ourselves up to growth. Letting go of the past is not just about releasing regret. It's about seeing the past as a stepping stone to a better future. Every mistake you've made has led you to this moment, and in this moment, you have the power to grow. The path of life is long, and along the way, you will encounter many challenges. But with each challenge, you will also encounter opportunities for growth. So, my dear one, the next time you stumble, remember this: you are not your mistakes. You are the wisdom you gain from them. Each mistake is a lesson, and each lesson brings you one step closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Let go of the fear of failure and embrace the journey of growth. This is the way forward. Releasing emotional attachments, a path to inner peace. Dear one, sit with me for a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel the tension in your body begin to melt. In this moment, let's talk about something that often weighs on our hearts: emotional attachments. Have you ever noticed how tightly we hold on to the people, things, and even ideas that fill our lives? We cling to them as if they define us, as if they are a part of who we are. But let me ask you this: are you these attachments? Or are you something deeper, something freer? We often form attachments because we believe they give us happiness, security, and identity. Perhaps it's a relationship that you've poured your heart into, a job that you've identified with, or a dream that you've chased for years. These things may bring joy, yes, but when we attach ourselves too tightly, they can also bring suffering. Why? Because everything in life is impermanent. Nothing stays the same. People change, situations shift, and the things we hold on to can slip through our fingers without warning. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you grasp it too tightly, the grains slip away, scattering in the wind. But if you hold it gently, allowing it to rest in your palm, it stays with you. This is how we must approach life. If we cling too tightly to what we love or what we want, we cause ourselves pain when it inevitably changes. But when we learn to let go, to release our emotional attachments, we open the door to a deeper peace, a more profound freedom. You may wonder, how do I begin to let go of these emotional attachments? It starts with awareness. Observe how your mind constantly grasps at things, how it wants to hold on to experiences, people, and possessions. The more you become aware of this tendency, the more you can soften your grip. Notice how much energy is spent worrying about losing what you are attached to. This worry ties you down. It anchors you in fear and anxiety. But there is a way out. In Buddhism, we speak of non-attachment as a path to inner peace. This does not mean you stop caring. No, far from it. It means you care without being bound by the outcome. You love without trying to possess. You experience joy without fearing its end. Non-attachment is the ability to live fully in the present, appreciating what you have, but not letting it control you. Let's take a simple example: a flower in a garden. You admire its beauty, its vibrant colors, its soft petals, but you don't need to pick the flower and take it home to enjoy it. The moment you try to possess it, you hasten its end. It wilts, its beauty fades. By letting it be, by appreciating it without grasping, you allow it to flourish in its natural state. The same is true for everything in life: relationships, experiences, even thoughts. If you can learn to appreciate without attachment, you will find peace. There is a great misunderstanding that letting go of attachment means indifference, that you stop feeling. But this is not true at all. When you release attachment, you actually feel more deeply, but you feel without the chains of fear and desire. You no longer cling to people or outcomes as if your happiness depends on them. You simply allow them to be, and in doing so, you find a deeper happiness that comes from within, not from outside circumstances. Let's reflect on emotional attachments to people. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or a partner, are often the source of our deepest attachments. We fear losing those we love. We worry about being abandoned or rejected. But this fear comes from attachment, from the belief that we cannot be happy without them. Yet, the truth is that all relationships change. People grow, move away, or pass on. If we tie our happiness to another person's presence, we make ourselves vulnerable to suffering. But what if you loved without fear? What if you could be fully present in your relationships without holding on so tightly? When you let go of attachment, you allow the people in your life to be who they are, without expecting them to fulfill all your needs or stay the same forever. This creates space for love to grow in a healthier, freer way. Think of the sky and the clouds that float through it. The sky does not cling to the clouds, does it? It simply allows them to pass. Some are bright and beautiful, others dark and heavy, but the sky remains unchanged, vast and peaceful. You are like the sky, and the people, thoughts, and emotions in your life are like the clouds. They will come and go, but your true nature, your peace, remains if you do not cling. Now, releasing attachment does not mean pushing people away or giving up on your dreams. It means freeing yourself from the emotional chains that bind you to outcomes. It means living with open hands, rather than closed fists. In this way, you can fully enjoy what you have, knowing that everything is temporary and that's okay. There is beauty in impermanence because it reminds us to appreciate each moment without trying to hold onto it forever. You may ask, how do I practice this in daily life? Begin by noticing when attachment arises. Pay attention to the moments when you feel fear or anxiety about losing something. Instead of trying to control the situation, take a deep breath and remind yourself that everything is in flux. Allow yourself to experience life's impermanence without resistance. This simple awareness can bring a great sense of relief. And when you find yourself clinging to someone or something, gently loosen your grip. Imagine yourself holding that attachment lightly, like the sand in your palm. Trust that life will unfold as it should, without your tight control. By releasing attachment, you are not losing anything. Instead, you are gaining the freedom to experience life fully, without the burden of expectation and fear. Ah, dear one, do you see? Letting go of emotional attachments is not about losing. It is about gaining inner peace, a peace that no external circumstance can disturb. As you walk this path, remember that it takes time and practice. Be patient with yourself. The more you let go, the lighter you will feel. And as you release your attachments, you will discover a deeper connection to the present moment, to life itself. Let go, and see how the world opens up before you. Overcoming nostalgia. Finding joy in the present moment. In the journey of life, many wander down the path of nostalgia. It's easy to reminisce about the past, holding on to memories that once brought joy. But let us reflect. Does clinging to those moments truly serve you? When you dwell on what was, you may miss the beauty of what is happening right now. Imagine a tree standing tall in a forest. Each season brings change, the bright greens of spring, the fiery colors of autumn, the bare branches of winter, and the new blooms of summer. Each moment is unique, just as each day in your life is. When we focus solely on past seasons, we forget to appreciate the vibrant beauty of the present. Nostalgia can be comforting, but it can also be deceptive. It whispers sweet memories into our ears, luring us into a longing for times gone by. However, this longing can act as a barrier, keeping us from fully experiencing our current lives. Remember, the past is like a shadow. It can only follow you if you let it. When you choose to turn around and face the light of the present, the shadow fades away. To find joy in the present moment, practice being aware of your surroundings. Take a moment to look around you. What colors do you see? What sounds fill the air? What scents dance with the breeze? By engaging your senses, you invite yourself to truly live in the now. Consider a simple exercise. Each day, take 5 minutes to sit in silence. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Focus on the rhythm of your breath. Inhale peace, exhale worry. Let thoughts of the past come and go like clouds in the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. This practice of mindfulness can help you acknowledge your feelings without getting caught in their web. Another way to overcome nostalgia is to cultivate gratitude. Each day, Write down 3 things you are grateful for in your life today. This simple practice shifts your focus from what has been lost to what you currently cherish. You might find joy in the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a friend, or a delicious meal. Gratitude opens your heart and helps you see that life is full of present treasures. In Buddhism, we learn about the importance of impermanence. Everything changes, and nothing lasts forever. This truth is not meant to bring sadness, but rather to inspire appreciation for the fleeting moments we experience. The joy you feel today may not last, but that makes it all the more precious. Embrace the transience of life, and allow yourself to be fully present for each moment as it comes. Sometimes, the fear of missing out on past experiences leads us to hold on to them tightly. But this clinging only brings suffering. Instead, practice letting go. When a memory arises, acknowledge it with kindness, and then gently return your focus to the present. You can honor the past without being bound by it. Engage in activities that bring you joy in the present. Whether it's painting, dancing, or simply taking a walk in nature, find what makes your heart sing. These moments of joy are gifts that remind you life is happening right now. Allow yourself to feel the energy of the moment and share it with others. When you engage with the world around you, you begin to create new memories. Let those memories replace the longing for what was. When you cherish the present, you begin to weave a tapestry of experiences that enrich your life. Each thread adds to the beautiful design of your journey. Another way to overcome nostalgia is to connect with others. Spend time with friends, family, or even new acquaintances. Share stories, laughter, and experiences. The connections you create in the present can help heal the wounds of longing. Embrace the community around you and recognize that you are never truly alone. As you continue on your path, remember that life is like a river. It flows and changes constantly. Attempting to hold on to past experiences is like trying to catch water in your hands. It slips away, leaving you with nothing. Instead, learn to flow with the river of life, embracing each bend and turn. In conclusion, nostalgia can hold you captive if you let it. To find joy in the present, engage your senses, practice mindfulness, cultivate gratitude, and create new memories. Remember, the beauty of life is in the now. Each moment is a new opportunity to experience happiness, connection, and love. Release the chains of nostalgia and step boldly into the vibrant world waiting for you. Live fully, love deeply, and embrace the miracle of the present moment. Unburdening the mind, letting go of negative thoughts. In the stillness of the mind, one can find clarity. Imagine your mind as a vast, open sky. When clouds gather, they can obscure the sun, making everything seem dull and heavy. These clouds represent the negative thoughts we carry. They may feel overwhelming, but just as clouds pass, so can our thoughts. Let us explore the nature of negative thoughts. They often arise from fear, anger, or disappointment. When something doesn't go our way, it's easy to fall into a spiral of negativity. I can't do this, or I am not enough, become mantras that cloud our judgment. Yet, in the practice of mindfulness, we learn to observe these thoughts without becoming them. The first step to unburdening the mind is awareness. Just as a gardener tends to a garden, we must tend to our thoughts. When a weed appears, it's crucial to notice it before it takes root and spreads. Take a moment to pause when you feel a negative thought arise. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Often, the answer will be no. Next, we practice acceptance. Instead of fighting against these thoughts, we can acknowledge their presence. Ah, there you are, my old friend, we might say. By recognizing these thoughts without judgment, we weaken their grip on us. They become less threatening when we don't resist them. Another powerful technique is to reframe these negative thoughts. Imagine replacing "I can't" with "I can try." This simple shift opens up a world of possibilities. When we change our perspective, we change our experience. Instead of feeling defeated, we feel empowered to take action. Now, let's consider the importance of compassion. Negative thoughts can stem from our inner critic, a voice that tells us we are not good enough. But what if we spoke to ourselves with kindness instead? Treat yourself as you would a dear friend. When they struggle, we offer support and understanding. Why not offer the same to ourselves? One effective practice is visualization. Picture your negative thoughts as leaves floating on a stream. You can observe them as they drift by, without clinging to them. Each time a negative thought arises, visualize placing it on a leaf and letting it float away. This exercise helps us detach from the weight of our thoughts. Gratitude is another antidote to negativity. By focusing on what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from what is wrong. Start each day by listing 3 things you appreciate. They can be as simple as a warm cup of tea or the sound of birds outside your window. This practice transforms our mindset and lightens our load. Engaging in mindful activities can also help release negativity. When we immerse ourselves in the present moment, we create space for joy and peace. Whether it's walking in nature, practicing yoga, or simply taking deep breaths, these moments of mindfulness allow us to reset our minds and let go of burdens. Remember, letting go of negative thoughts is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when old patterns resurface. Instead of being discouraged, embrace the journey. Each time you recognize and release a negative thought, you strengthen your ability to do so in the future. In Buddhism, we learn about impermanence. Just as the seasons change, so do our thoughts and feelings. Understanding that negative thoughts are temporary allows us to approach them with a lighter heart. They do not define us. They are simply passing clouds in the sky of our mind. Finally, surround yourself with positive influences. Spend time with those who uplift you and inspire you to be your best self. Our environment plays a significant role in our mental state. Seek out uplifting books, music, or art that nourish your spirit. As we unburden our minds, we create space for new thoughts and experiences. Imagine walking through a garden, free from the weeds of negativity. The flowers of positivity bloom, vibrant and alive. Each moment becomes a chance to cultivate joy and peace within. By letting go of negative thoughts, we reclaim our power. We step into the light of our true selves, unencumbered by the weight of the past. Embrace this journey with an open heart and remember, you are capable of transforming your mind and your life. Freedom from the past, creating a new future with awareness. In the stillness of the morning, the Zen master sits quietly, observing the world. The trees sway gently in the breeze, and the sun rises, casting its warm light on everything. This moment is a reminder that every day is a new beginning. Just as the sun rises anew each morning, so too can you rise above your past. Let us ponder the nature of freedom. What does it mean to be free? Is it merely the absence of chains, or is it something deeper? True freedom lies in the ability to let go of what no longer serves you. It is about breaking the cycle of suffering created by holding on to past mistakes, regrets, and fears. Imagine a bird in a cage. The cage may be open, but the bird remains inside, fearful of the unknown outside. It is comfortable in its small space, yet it longs to soar. This is how many of us live, clinging to the safety of our past, afraid to take flight into the vastness of our potential. The first step towards freedom is acknowledging that you have a choice. You can choose to step out of the cage. Buddhism teaches us the importance of awareness. Awareness allows us to see things as they truly are, without the fog of past experiences clouding our vision. When we cultivate awareness, we begin to recognize the thoughts and feelings that keep us tethered to our past. With this recognition comes the power to change. As you become more aware, pay attention to your thoughts. Are they filled with regret? Do they replay old wounds over and over? Notice how these thoughts make you feel. They may create sadness, anger, or anxiety. These emotions are your mind's way of telling you that you are still holding on to something. Now, imagine gently placing these thoughts on a leaf and letting them float down a stream. Watch as the leaf carries them away, out of your sight. This practice can help you release what no longer serves you. With each thought you let go of, you create space for new, positive experiences. Consider the story of a river. A river flows constantly, never the same from one moment to the next. It teaches us that life is change. Just as the river moves forward, so too must we. When we hold on to the past, we create obstacles in our flow, making it difficult to move forward. Letting go is like clearing a path in the river, allowing it to flow freely and effortlessly. In moments of quiet reflection, ask yourself, what do I want to create in my future? What dreams and aspirations lie within me? Visualize them clearly. As you do this, recognize that the past does not define your future. Each day is a blank canvas, ready for you to paint your desires and hopes. To create a new future, take small, deliberate steps. Set intentions for how you wish to live your life. Perhaps it's about practicing kindness, embracing joy, or nurturing your passions. Whatever it may be, remind yourself that you have the power to shape your reality. Embrace the present moment as a gift. Each moment is an opportunity to start anew. You may stumble or falter, but this is part of the journey. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as lessons. Each lesson brings you closer to understanding yourself and your desires. Surround yourself with positivity. Seek out experiences and relationships that uplift you. When you fill your life with joy and gratitude, the weight of the past begins to lift. It becomes easier to focus on what truly matters, the present and the possibilities it holds. Practice gratitude daily. Take time to appreciate the simple things. A warm cup of tea, a smile from a stranger, or the beauty of nature. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. This shift in perspective is crucial in breaking free from the past. Meditation can also be a powerful tool in your journey to freedom. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and allow your mind to settle. As thoughts arise, observe them without judgment. Let them come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. This practice of non-attachment teaches you that thoughts are just that, thoughts. They do not define who you are. When you feel the weight of the past pulling you down, return to your breath. Focus on the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. This simple act of breathing anchors you in the present moment, reminding you that you are alive and capable of change. Remember, freedom is not a destination but a journey. It is a continuous process of letting go and embracing the present. Each step you take towards freedom is a step towards a brighter future. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every moment counts. In the end, life is about movement. Just as the seasons change, so too must you adapt and grow. Embrace the fluidity of life. When you learn to flow with it rather than resist, you discover the beauty of existence. You are not bound by your past. Instead, you are the architect of your future. Let this understanding wash over you like a gentle wave. Feel the liberation that comes with recognizing that you are not your past. Each day is an invitation to create anew. Embrace it with open arms, and watch as your life transforms into a tapestry of endless possibilities. Freedom from the past is a profound gift you give yourself. Allow it to inspire you, guide you, and lead you to a future filled with light and love. Forgiving yourself and others, a journey to inner healing. In the stillness of the mind, one can discover a profound truth. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It is a soft whisper in our hearts, urging us to let go of pain. Holding on to grudges, whether against others or ourselves, is like carrying a heavy stone. Each day, that weight can become too much to bear. Consider this. When you cling to anger or regret, you are allowing that energy to control your life. Imagine you are a tree, and each grudge is a branch that weighs you down. To grow and flourish, you must shed those heavy branches. Letting go is not about forgetting. It is about freeing yourself from the pain. Forgiveness is a choice, and it begins with understanding. When someone hurts us, it is easy to see them as the enemy. However, remember that everyone is struggling in their own way. They may not even realize the impact of their actions. By understanding this, we can start to soften our hearts and find compassion. Self-forgiveness is equally important. We are often our own worst critics. When we make mistakes, we can be harsh, replaying our failures over and over in our minds. But just as we learn to forgive others, we must also learn to forgive ourselves. This is a crucial step toward inner healing. Imagine a child learning to walk. They stumble and fall, but do they give up? No, they rise again, filled with determination. In the same way, when you stumble in life, be gentle with yourself. Each mistake is a lesson, a chance to grow. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a friend. Meditation can be a powerful tool in this journey of forgiveness. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. With each inhale, Imagine filling your heart with light and love. With each exhale, let go of any tension or negative feelings. Visualize the person you need to forgive. See them as human, just like you, with their own struggles. Now, repeat this simple phrase in your mind: I release you, and I release myself. Feel the weight of resentment lifting off your shoulders. Each time you practice this, you are training your mind to embrace forgiveness. Let's not forget the power of gratitude in this process. When you focus on what you appreciate in your life, the burdens of resentment become lighter. Make a list of things you are thankful for. It could be as simple as the sun shining or a kind word from a friend. This shift in perspective opens your heart and mind to healing. Remember, forgiveness is not a one-time act. It is a continuous practice. Just as we water a plant to help it grow, we must nurture our capacity to forgive. Set an intention each day to release negativity. With time, you will find that your heart feels lighter and your spirit is more at peace. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. In the end, it is you who gets burned. Release that coal. Choose to walk the path of peace and compassion instead. Forgiveness can transform your relationships. When you let go of past hurts, you create space for love and connection. Your interactions become more meaningful, and your heart opens wider. This is not just about others. It is also about how you feel in your own skin. When you forgive, you free yourself from the shackles of negativity. As you move through life, remind yourself that everyone is doing the best they can with the tools they have. This understanding allows you to approach conflicts with grace and empathy. And when you make mistakes, remember, you are human. It is okay to stumble. What matters is how you rise again and move forward with love. In your journey of forgiveness, be patient with yourself. It may take time, and that is perfectly okay. Each step you take toward letting go is a step toward a lighter heart. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. In conclusion, forgiveness is a powerful tool for inner healing. It allows us to release the past and embrace the present. Through understanding, compassion, meditation, and gratitude, we can find the strength to forgive ourselves and others. Let go of that heavy stone, and in its place, cultivate a garden of peace and love within. Embrace the beauty of forgiveness, for it is a gift that transforms not only our lives but the lives of those around us. Living forward, embracing the power of the present. In this moment, let us reflect on the journey we have taken together. As we stand at this crossroads of understanding, it is essential to remember that life is a series of moments, each one a unique gift. When you embrace the present, you open your heart to the beauty around you. The sun rising each day is a reminder that every moment offers a fresh start. Imagine a flower blooming in spring. It does not mourn the cold winter days it has endured. Instead, it reaches toward the sun, soaking in the warmth and light. In the same way, you too can learn to let go of the past and embrace the beauty of now. The past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. Each new day is an opportunity to grow and to thrive. Let go of the burden of regret. Regrets are like stones in your pocket, heavy and burdensome. Every time you look back with sorrow, you add another stone. But you have the power to remove them. How can you do this? Start by acknowledging your feelings without judgment. Feelings are natural. They come and go like clouds in the sky. Observe them, then let them pass. This practice of awareness helps you to understand that your thoughts do not control you. You control your thoughts. When you practice mindfulness, you train your mind to focus on the present. Take a deep breath and feel the air filling your lungs. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. With each breath, imagine releasing the weight of your past. You are here, right now, and that is where your power lies. As we live forward, we must also cultivate gratitude. Each moment is filled with countless blessings, but often we overlook them. Make it a habit to express gratitude for the small things. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, or the taste of your favorite food. When you shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, you will find joy in the present. Imagine your life as a river. Sometimes it flows smoothly, and sometimes it encounters rocks and obstacles. But the river does not stop. It flows around the barriers and continues on its path. In the same way, Accept that life will have its challenges, but do not let them stop your progress. Instead, learn to navigate around them and keep moving forward. Forgiveness is another essential step in embracing the present. Holding on to anger or resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It only harms you. Understand that forgiving others and yourself frees you from the shackles of the past. When you forgive, you release the grip that old wounds have on your heart. Consider this. Every person you encounter has their own story, their own struggles. By recognizing this, you can cultivate compassion for others and yourself. Life is a shared journey, and we are all imperfect beings navigating our way through. Extend kindness to yourself, and you will find it easier to offer it to others. As you move forward, remember that every action you take in the present shapes your future. Make choices that reflect your values and your desire for growth. Each step you take is a step toward the life you wish to create. You have the power to transform your thoughts and actions into a brighter reality. Practice the art of letting go. When you feel the weight of past burdens, visualize them as leaves floating on a stream. Watch them drift away, carried by the current. In doing this, you will learn to detach from what no longer serves you. Surround yourself with positivity. Seek out those who inspire you, who uplift your spirit. Your environment plays a crucial role in your journey. When you fill your life with positive influences, you create a fertile ground for growth and joy. Finally, embrace the unknown. The future is a vast landscape filled with possibilities. Do not fear what lies ahead. Instead, approach it with curiosity and an open heart. Trust that whatever happens, you will have the strength to face it. Life is an adventure, and every twist and turn offers a lesson. As you conclude this journey, carry these teachings in your heart. The power of the present is always within your reach. Each day, remind yourself to live forward, to embrace the now. With this practice, you will find peace, joy, and fulfillment. So, go forth with a heart full of hope and a mind open to the beauty of today. Remember, you are the master of your own life. Embrace it fully and never look back again.